Hi, welcome to Clear Answers, Episode 3. Lycan Jitsu asks, could you clarify one thing for me, please? I understood spring power as sort of a bow and arrow movement forwards in a sort of sine wave motion, and compression as a bounce back effect from compression. In this video, however, you seem to be defining spring power as a springing out from a compressed posture, and a compression powered striking as a condensing and hence body weight dropping action to power heavy weighted strikes in a downward direction that is rather restricted and limited in its reach. Okay, so a couple things to know. One is that if you compress, like I've got this ball here to help, and I compress that, or I press it and let go, normally there's some spring action, and then it could be in all directions, or it could be aimed and so you use compression to get spring. But there are other ways to get spring power. You could load a bow and fire off where the release is the fire also, right? And the release of the compression was also, but instead of releasing compression, I actually expanded and released the expansion to get some spring power the other way. So the spring being the load that way, and you also are compressing a spring like this, so it's sort of what you're doing with it. In terms of compression, it's that compress, and to some degree when you compress like that, yes, it's going to condense, and so it's compressing to condense. And in terms of different kinds of usage there, if I'm using spring, most of the time that's going to be that release outward in some form, release with energy or power going outward. And then when you use compression, typically it'd be like here. So if I'm just doing the spring out, then obviously I've done whatever kind of, and so I'll do the bow and arrow kind for it, and then release that way, right? And then, sorry, you good? All right, and then if I'm doing compression, it may be that I compress in order to get this kind of an effect, right? And stand there strongly, and you can tell the difference once I added in the compression in terms of how it feels. I'll show it from here so that way you can see it a little better. So this is me pulling down here. I'll compress, and then use that release from that to, anyways, you get the idea. And so bow and arrow to spring and release, compression to spring and release. So I don't think of them so much as separately, but different aspects of the tool. There are a lot of other ways to get spring power and compression power and to use them and to really make it so that it's something that works for you. We get into that quite a lot in our knockout striking package, and so that's going to really get specifically into those concepts and principles and give you a working ability with that knowledge that then you can use in self-defense and for fun with partners. Okay. Thank you for watching. Ask your questions in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe.